welcome to Becoming Catholic. My name is Nate. I am a Protestant youth pastor who is exploring the Catholic Church and her doctrines and practices and devotions. And today I am exploring the devotion to Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. So if you're not familiar with what that is, that Our Lady refers to Mary, and the Miraculous Medal is this little medal or pendant that Mary kind of showed a woman in a vision, in an apparition. I received a version of the medal as well as this little prayer card, devotional card, as a free gift when I bought a crucifix on Etsy. And I had an interesting experience with Mary. You can click the info card up there if you want to hear me talk about my experience with Mary. But the experience I had with Mary started with praying the prayer on the back of this card. On this, it's the name of the prayer is an act of consecration to Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. So I decided that after my strange experience with Mary, after praying the Rosary once, I said, you know what? Let me see what this miraculous medal is all about. I'm going to pray this prayer every day for 7 days and wear the medal around my neck for those 7 days, and just see how I feel. So this is my experience. Okay, so I have a cross necklace. I think it's a stainless steel cross on just like a really simple chain, the type of chain you would find with like dog tags on it. So like really plain, simple, cheap kind of chain. Kind of a cool cross. My mom bought it for me a long time ago. And I don't really wear it because I'm not a big necklace guy. And I also, if I do wear any jewelry, I don't really wear silver. I typically wear gold because it matches my wedding ring. But so the medal was also silver, so at least it matched. So I went ahead and put the Miraculous Medal on the necklace, and then I wore this cross and Miraculous Medal around my neck for 7 days, and I prayed the following prayer. O Virgin Mother of God, Mary Immaculate, we dedicate and consecrate ourselves to you under the title of Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. May this medal be for each one of us a sure sign of your affection for us and a constant reminder of our duties towards you. Ever while wearing it, may we be blessed by your loving protection and preserved in the grace of your Son. O most powerful Virgin, Mother of our Savior, keep us close to you every moment of our lives. Obtain for us, your children, the grace of a happy death, so that, in union with you, we may enjoy the bliss of heaven forever. Amen. And then on the front, there's another prayer. O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to you. And so I prayed that longer prayer on the back every single day, and about 3 days or 4 days in, I decided to also pray that shorter prayer along with it. And I never took the medal off of my neck unless I was getting in the shower. And so I prayed it the first day and had the necklace on. And almost immediately after I was done praying, I felt incredibly uncomfortable. I don't know if it was just because I'm not used to praying to Mary or consecrating myself to her and really saying anything other than the Hail Mary. I do not know and I'm not comfortable with and don't understand. And so I had this kind of like feeling in my heart and pit of my stomach, like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I don't know that I like this. And from that moment on, I just could not wait for this challenge that I was doing to be over and to stop wearing this necklace. But I committed to it. I said, I'm going to wear it for 7 days. I'm going to pray the prayer for 7 days, no matter how awful it is, because if it gets really, really awful at the end of the 7 days, that's what I'm going to talk about. And so I get like 3 days in and I'm praying this prayer. And honestly, it felt meaningless. I felt like I was just kind of saying the words. I had a hard time focusing on what I was saying. And what I mean is I wasn't distracted, but I had a hard time being earnest in saying what I said. But I prayed it and I said it, I recited it, even when I didn't feel it, just as sort of a discipline. And, you know, like I said, 3 days in, still was like, I cannot wait to get this necklace off of my neck, and I can't wait to stop praying this prayer. And then I think it was like day 5 or day 6, and I couldn't sleep. I basically pulled an all-nighter on accident. I didn't mean to. I just could not sleep. I think my wife and I, we fell asleep for like 2 or 3 hours, and we both woke up, and I just couldn't get back to sleep. I was up all night, up until the morning, and I don't think I fell asleep until like 7 in the morning. But in that night, I decided I was going to do tons of research and read about the medal, and I was also reading about the Sacred Heart of Jesus, which is a devotion that I genuinely actually feel drawn to. I don't feel drawn to the Rosary. I didn't feel drawn to the Miraculous Medal. I don't really feel drawn to many devotions that are within the Catholic Church, but for some reason in the past, reading about the Sacred Heart, I felt really drawn to it. So at some point there'll be a video about the Sacred Heart of Jesus. But so I'm kind of doing research, and then I'm looking at pendants and stuff on Etsy, just like different kind of necklaces. And I decide, you know what, I'm just going to reread what the promises are of the Miraculous Medal. Because the first time I read it, I was like, yeah, whatever. Whereas when I read the promises, the 12 promises of the Sacred Heart of Jesus devotion, I felt moved, and I was like, that is totally like from the Lord. There's no doubt that apparition about the Sacred Heart of Jesus, those promises, that devotion, that image, it's all got to be from God. Where the Miraculous Medal, I was kind of like, I don't really get this. So I decided to reread the promises that night. And I'm just going to read those promises now. Because I think that there was something much more powerful in them than I realized. So I'm just reading from my laptop. This is what the promises of the medal are. This is what this website says. This is WLPcatholic.org. And under the section that's the promises of the medal, during Our Lady's visit to Catherine on November 27th, 1830, rays of light flowed from rings on her fingers that were made of precious stones. However, some of the stones on the ring did not shine. And this is what Mary explained. These rays symbolize the graces I shed upon those who ask for them. The gems from which rays do not fall are the graces for which souls forget to ask. Mary then spoke of the medal, and she said this: all who wear it will receive great graces. They should wear it around the neck. Graces will abound for persons who wear it with confidence. The medal is a symbol, or the medal is simply a visible sign of the inner devotion the wearer has to Mary and to her son, Jesus. And I read these promises, and I think some other places they kind of paraphrase those promises and change it up, and some of it has to do with not feeling tempted to sin or not giving in to temptation to sin. But I read these promises, and whereas the first time I read them, I was like, whatever. I don't really care for this. I can't wait to not do this anymore. That night, maybe it was just because I was super tired. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, but I read those promises, and I had a similar feeling, not as strong, but a similar feeling as to the one I felt when I read about the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I felt kind of moved, and I was like, oh, there's something in this. And I just kind of love that being devoted to Mary doesn't mean being devoted to Mary. Being devoted to Mary means being devoted to the work of God that was done through Mary. And the work of God that was done through Mary is Jesus Christ crucified. Like that's what happened. Like, because of Mary, through Mary, Jesus was born, he lived his life, he did what he did, he dies on the cross, and the God-man laid down his life for me. And that story, that gospel story, starts with Mary. And so that devotion to Mary isn't a devotion to Mary, it's a devotion to the work of God on the cross. And what's really cool about the Miraculous Medal is on the bottom of the medal, in the backside, there is the image of the Immaculate Heart of Mary and the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And I just kind of love that even in what seems like Mary worship to a Protestant who doesn't know much about this stuff, something like a medal that I'm consecrating myself to, there's this thing. There's a cross on it. There's a Sacred Heart of Jesus. It is still Christocentric, even as much as it is focused on Mary. And after that day, I only had a couple days left of this little devotional challenge I was doing. I was excited. And the next thing I did that night, it was 5, 6 o'clock in the morning at this point, maybe even getting to 7, I went on Etsy and I found, I don't know if it's an original because it was really cheap, but at the very least a replica, a brass replica of the original medal that was made. Now, I know that there's people who are devoted to the Miraculous medal. There are arguments about whether or not they should only wear the original one, or if all variations of the medal are fine. And that's not why I got it. I'm not like this rad trad kind of guy who needs the original one. I just liked the idea of having the original one. So I went on Etsy. I think I paid like $30 or $20 or something for a brass Miraculous medal on a chain, and it looked just like the original one. So the words were in Latin on it, or French, or whatever language it was originally written in. Really cool. So I'm super stoked about that. It has not come in yet. But I went throughout the rest of the days and I kind of leaned into it a little bit. And then something really weird happened on the last day. So the last day comes. Some days I prayed in the morning. Some days I prayed in the evening because I forgot to pray in the morning. And on the last day, I hadn't prayed in the morning. I was just going to pray at some point later in the day. And the last day, actually, at the time of recording this, was yesterday. So we are hosting a dinner party at my house, and I'm going to get in the shower, and I take off my necklace and I set it on the sink, and I take my shower, and I get out of the shower, I get dressed, and I grab my necklace. And typically when I grab my necklace, I grab it by the cross and the medal, but I must have missed the medal. So I picked up my necklace by the cross, and the Miraculous medal fell off of the chain and went down the drain of the sink. So I could see it though. So I pulled that little that plug out of the sink, because it was stuck on the inside of the plug. So I pulled the plug out, and as I pulled the plug out, it jostled the metal just enough for the metal to slip through a slot and just shoot down the drain, and it's gone forever. So the very last day of this devotional challenge, I did not wear the medal at all. Instead, I did pray the prayer because I was committed to doing this for 7 days, and I just kept this card in my pocket all day. Noticeably, I did not feel devoted to it as much that day because I didn't have this heavy weight on my neck where I sensed this thing that I was devoted to. But that's not really the weird part. That's just the funny part. The weird part was I came upstairs in here into my office, and I said the prayer on the front, said the prayer on the back. I think I might have said the prayer on the front again. And I just sat there and I stared at this card. And I just kept staring at it. And I had this compulsion, this feeling that I needed to kiss this card. I don't know why. I did not want to. I did not want to at all. I thought it was weird. I think that when people would kiss a crucifix or kiss a statue of Mary, honestly, it looked like total bullcrap. I did not understand it. It seemed so weird. And I get that it is kissing is a sign of affection. I kiss my wife as a sign of affection. And I can see how, maybe kissing a crucifix is a sign of affection for our Lord and what he did for us. But it just seemed really weird to kiss this little piece of cardboard with a picture of someone who's not God on it. It just seemed really strange. And I sat there and I was like, maybe I'll turn off the camera and then I'll kiss it. And I didn't. I was like, nope, I'm recording all of this experience and I'm just going to do it. And I kissed it, and I just had this sense of peace in my heart. And I just felt, this is weird. It's weird to me. If for those of you who are already Catholic, this is not weird to you at all. But it's weird to me because I get now that it's not total bullcrap to kiss an image or an icon of some sort. And I get that when you do that, it is not, it is more than just kissing a little thing, there's a feeling that comes with it. And so for me, I did wind up having a feeling that I did not expect. I mean, I was not looking for this. I understand the Marian dogmas. I understand that Mary is the mother of the church, and in a sense, the mother of Christians. She's my spiritual mother in a sense. And, but I didn't really even praying the rosary, praying the Hail Mary, I didn't feel like I had that kind of relationship with Mary where it felt like she was my mother. And I don't have a really great relationship with my biological mom. So this is all super foreign to me. And I kissed this thing and it just felt like I had kissed my mom on the cheek. And it felt like I had this affectionate, loving relationship with my new mom, so to speak. And it was heartwarming, and I really enjoyed it. And I went about the rest of my day in that dinner party just kind of knowing like my mom's got my back, so to speak. Because and for someone who does not have a good relationship with their mom, that's really comforting to have a mom. Like, I get that God is my father, that Jesus is my eldest brother. He's the, but there's something about having a mom. Watching my wife be a mom, what she does is so much more and so much different than what I offer our daughter. I love seeing my wife interact with our daughter because my wife understands what it means to be my daughter's mom. I don't understand what it's like to be a mom. I know what it's like to be a dad, but as a dad, what I have is a sense of affection for my child, but it's really a sense of affection and a feeling that I need to protect and provide for my child, and same goes for my wife. But my wife just has this nurturing, comforting, loving approach to our baby that I don't necessarily have or understand to the extent that she has it or understands it. And so seeing that in my wife and seeing my wife be a really good image of what a godly mom is to look like, it kind of helped me look back and say that I'm getting what my wife is giving to my daughter, I'm getting that from Mary. And so I have decided that I am going to be devoted to Our Lady, specifically Our Lady of the Miraculous medal. And I bought that medal. I can't wait for it to come in. I check Etsy every couple of hours to see if it shipped yet, and it hasn't shipped yet. But I'm super stoked and excited to have a relationship with Mary. I'm going to be honest, I do not know how much time I'm actually going to spend with the rosary, but with the medal, this is a devotion that I feel called to. All right, so before ending the video, I just wanted to do a little update. So I recorded that video 7 days ago. Since then, I've been waiting for my new Miraculous medal, which finally came in, thank the Lord. And while I was waiting for that, I also ordered a couple of books. So this was the first book I bought. This is The Miraculous Medal, Stories, Prayers, and Devotions by Donna Marie Cooper O'Boyle. And if you don't know who she is, like me, I didn't know who she was. She is a speaker, author, wife, and mother. She is the host and creator of the EWTN series, Everyday Blessings for Catholic Moms and Catholic Moms Cafe. And she has a number of other books, including Embracing Motherhood and The Domestic Church. So I bought this book. I had a couple of books in my Amazon wish list that were about the Miraculous Medal and about St. Catherine, who got the visions of Mary and the Miraculous Medal. I chose this one because it seemed to be the most comprehensive book. It kind of would have everything. So this has the story of St. Catherine and how, when she got the apparitions and how she got them and how often she got them, where she was, kind of her life story. Then how the medal kind of became a popular devotion throughout France. And then from there, how it kind of got to the rest of the world and the rest of the Catholic Church. And then from there, Donna Marie has accumulated over the course of her life so many stories related to the Miraculous medal in her life. And so while waiting for this medal to come in, I read all of this book except for the last chapter, which was just the devotional chapter. It just had the prayers in it. And I just wanted to give a quick review of this book and also give you guys a heads up for something exciting I'm doing next, what the next video is going to look like. So first off, the book. If you have not read this book, I do recommend getting it. If you either are thinking about getting a Miraculous medal, or if you have one but you don't know a ton about it, I would definitely recommend this book. Like I said, it is very comprehensive, but just a couple of things to be aware of when you read it. The author of this book is not a theologian. She's not a church historian. And she's also not really a writer. And I don't mean to be insulting. My apologies, Donna Marie, if you are watching. I doubt you are. But it's not that she's not a good writer. It's just that, it doesn't read like a Chestertonian essay, or it doesn't read like an apologetics book by C.S. Lewis. It doesn't read like a Tolkien novel. It reads like a blog. There are moments in the book where you read it and you're like, that was redundant, or that was oversimplified. But in another sense, it was a really pleasant read because it didn't feel like I was reading a textbook. It felt like someone was telling me a story. And I think that was the goal. So if you are into old books like that, written by well-known authors, don't buy this book thinking that that's what you're getting, because it's not that. I think Donna Marie did a very good job of telling the stories that she wanted to tell and communicating the information she wanted to communicate, and getting just enough of the information that you needed while still being a pleasant, light, easy read. I read this in several days, and I'm a really slow reader. The portion of the book where she tells St. Catherine's story and then the medal story, I think was phenomenal. But then there was the last chapter before the devotions, which was just stories that she's accumulated. And some of them were awesome. They were miracles, like someone had cancer and she gave them a miraculous medal that she had, put on Mother Teresa's bed and Pope John Paul II's coffin or something. And it was just this like super blessed, miraculous medal. She gives it to this person who has cancer, and immediately the cancer is gone. Or someone who has a baby who has a disease that the disease is going to kill the baby most likely in the womb, and the baby is born. Or someone who has a 1 in 3 chance of dying at their surgery, and they live through their surgery because they had this miraculous medal. There are stories like that in that chapter, and it's really cool. But then there are stories that are like, this person had a miraculous medal and they lost it, and then they found it. Praise God. And it's not that I am discrediting that maybe God or Mary worked in helping that person find that medal, but it's not as like exciting or sensational. And the chapter was wicked long, and it definitely could have been shortened to the more sensational stories. Or maybe a better way to put that is the stories that were definitely miraculous, and not stories that could have been coincidence. Or circumstantial. So, that's just my personal opinion. You could honestly skip that chapter. I read it all the way through because I wanted to get any sense of encouragement that I could through that chapter. And I think I got a little bit. I think I got less than I had hoped for. But then it has that final chapter, which is the devotions. And that leads me to the part where I tell you what I'm doing next. I'm super excited. So on top of this book that I just read, I also bought this, the Marian Consecration with Aquinas. This is written by Matt Fradd from Pints with Aquinas and Father Gregory Pine, who also is on Pints with Aquinas, but he also is part of the Thomistic Institute. And I think Godsplaining is his podcast. So the two of them wrote this book together. It's really, they didn't really do much writing, I think. I think they just pulled quotes from Aquinas' writings and made a 9-day prayer, a 9-day consecration prayer to Mary. I chose not to do Montfort's total consecration because it's super long and super intense, and I do want to do that, but I have something special in store for when I do that I'm gonna be able to include you guys on that journey. So what I'm gonna be doing, the next video that's gonna come out, I'm going to be doing this consecration, the Marian Consecration with Aquinas, written by Matt Fradd and Father Gregory Pine. I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to try and do it in the morning as much as possible. And then I am also going to do some of the prayers that are in the devotion section of this book to the Miraculous Medal. So I'm going to do a 9-day consecration to Mary and the Miraculous Medal. I'm going to continue my devotion to Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal because, as I mentioned earlier in this video, it was a really wonderful experience for me. And the beginning, I wasn't really excited about it and I didn't like it. I was uncomfortable. And by the end, I felt like called to participate in this devotion. This is something I want to be devoted to. So I'm going to include that as part of this journey. So keep an eye out. It's going to be a different kind of video than this one was. Instead of just showing you the fast forwarded videos of me praying, I am going to take a video every day and debrief and kind of give you my thoughts and my feelings after each prayer. After I've prayed alone in my quiet time, I'll come to you and tell you what it was like. And so that's what that video is going to be. And then obviously I'll do a summary at the end. I'm really excited. I'm going to start in a couple days. I'm kind of making sure that I put it in a place in my schedule where I don't have to do more than one Sunday, because Sundays are the toughest day for me to do anything in the morning because I have to be at my church to work. So a couple days, I'm going to start that. And yeah, I'm super excited. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for checking out this video. Thank you for checking out all of my other videos, my channel. I've just been so blessed by your support. It's really just incredible. I mean, this channel is, I don't even think it's 90 days old. And it's already got as many subscribers as it does. And that's just really touching that so many of you want to follow me on this journey. So many of you who are Catholic want to follow me on this journey. And then I've read at least 4 or 5 comments by 4 or 5 different people who are in a similar position that I'm in. And I'm just really blessed to be able to share this with you. You know, even in considering Catholicism, my life felt threatened because it felt like I couldn't work in ministry anymore. And it's the only thing I know how to do. It's the only thing I'm passionate about. And I was just worried that I was going to give that up and go have to find like a job or go back to college or something. And to be able to minister to those of you who are in a similar position as me. I may not be getting paid to do this, but it's such a blessing that I still get to be ministering even in the middle of the experience that I'm in. So hopefully you are able to discern whether or not you should or should not become Catholic. And to those of you who are Catholic, thank you for your encouraging words. You guys have told me how blessed you are by watching me. And that's also so encouraging because I am not Catholic. And it's hard to imagine a church and a faith that is so deep and so rich and so beautiful that someone who knows as little as me would have anything to offer somebody who has been a part of that church for so long. So, man, I'm just so excited. I'm so blessed. It's awesome to be doing this. It's awesome to have you guys here. And yeah, thank you so much. Check out some of my other videos if you have not. Subscribe if you have not. Like, comment, please tell me any experiences you have had with the Miraculous medal. I will even listen to your story if it is a story about how you lost the medal and then found it. but please, it's hard for me to reply to every comment because I've had so many. But if you have an experience with the Miraculous medal, please put it in the comments. I want to know. So thank you so much. May God bless you.